Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, a Saturday night premiere. Whoopi Goldberg, Ted Danson, Made in America. At 10, Love and Grunge. Bridget Fonda, Matt Dillon, Kira Sedgwick, Singles. And at 11:45, Everybody Wants It, Everybody Needs It. Damon Wayans, Mo Money. Made in America, Singles, and Mo Money. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, a Saturday premiere. They need much more than a hunch to make it in the 90s. The Brady Bunch movie. At 9:30, She's Better Than a Secret Decoder Ring. Melanie Griffith, Ed Harris, Milk Money. And at 11:30, don't be a fly on the wall. Taxi Cab Confessions, America Undercover. The Brady Bunch movie, Milk Money, and Taxi Cab Confessions. Something special's on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 7:30, Robin Williams brings the Bard to the Schoolyard. Shakespeare, The Animated Tales, The Taming of the Shrew. At 8, to reach outer space, you need the right vehicle. Ted Danson, Pontiac Moon. And at 9:45, Oh Captain, My Captain. Patrick Stewart, William Shatner, Star Trek Generations. The Taming of the Shrew, Pontiac Moon, and Star Trek Generations. Something special's on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 7:30, the Happily Ever After series continues. Denzel Washington, Robert Townsend, Rumpelstiltskin. At 8, only one man can make everything alrighty then, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. And at 9:45, Three-Way Love, An Accident Waiting to Happen. Richard Gere, Sharon Stone, Intersection. Rumpelstiltskin, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and Intersection. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, Everybody Wants It, Everybody Needs It. Damon and Marlon Wayans, Mo Money. At 9:30, HBO's own sexy, funny, adults-only Dream On. And at 10, the last word on the week that was, the groundbreaking new series, Dennis Miller. Mo Money, Dream On, and Dennis Miller. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, she's taking a shortcut on the road to revenge. Linda Kozlowski, Backstreet Justice. At 9:30, HBO Comedy Hour's Women of the Night 4, hosted by Tracy Ullman. And at 10:30, sisters are doing it for themselves. Cynthia Rothrock, Honor and Glory. Backstreet Justice, HBO Comedy Hour, and Honor and Glory. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, they probably just need a nap. Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon, and Margaret, Grumpy Old Men. At 10, Never Take Your Work Home With You. Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston, The Bodyguard. And at 12:15, Love Always Hits You When You're Not Looking. Peter Gallagher, Watch It. Grumpy Old Men, The Bodyguard, and Watch It. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 10, an all-new season of the best hour of comedy on TV. First, he only has remote control of his life. Dream On. Then at 10:30, The Big Business of Small Talk. The Larry Sanders Show starring Gary Shandling. And at 11, the show that's so good it's scary. Tales from the Crypt. Dream On. The Larry Sanders Show and Tales from the Crypt. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 9:30, the moments you were never supposed to see. America Undercover, Shock Video. At 10:30, two sisters getting some action. Cynthia Rothrock, Honor and Glory. And at 12, the last word on the week that was, the new series, Dennis Miller Live. Shock Video, Honor and Glory, and Dennis Miller. HBO is on tonight. It's on HBO. At 7:30, Robin Williams brings the Bard to the Schoolyard. Shakespeare, The Animated Tales, Julius Caesar. At 8, Every Woman Needs a Little Black Dress, an HBO world premiere movie, Widow's Kiss. And at 10, a different take on Einstein's dreams. Meg Ryan, Tim Robbins, Walter Matthau, IQ. Julius Caesar, Widow's Kiss, and IQ. HBO is on tonight. It's on HBO. At 8, 2 days that shook up the world. Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte, 48 Hours. At 9:45, the boys are back in town. Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte, another 48 Hours. And at 11:30, the show that's so good, it's scary. Tales from the Crypt. 48 Hours, another 48 Hours, and Tales from the Crypt. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, a Saturday premiere, A Whale of a Story. Michael Madsen, Lori Petty, Free Willy. At 10, two jokers in search of a queen. Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, James Earl Jones, Coming to America. And at 12, Tom Berenger and Billy Zane take in the sights, Sniper. Free Willy, Coming to America, and Sniper. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, a dreamer, a schemer, and a beamer. Charlie Sheen, The Chase. At 9:30, he got them off the street and put them into the sky. Louis Gossett Jr., Iron Eagle 4. And at 11:15, where the wildest things are, Russell Simmons' Def Comedy All-Star Jam. The Chase, Iron Eagle 4, and Def Comedy All-Star Jam. Something special's on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, How to Make an American Classic. Winona Ryder, Susan Sarandon, Little Women. At 10, news from the sidelines that's kept out of the headlines. Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. And at 11, talk about dangerous liaisons. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Interview with the Vampire. Little Women, Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel, and Interview with the Vampire. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, a Saturday premiere. See Why Only the Good Die Young. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Bad Boys. At 10, Don't Call It a Comeback, the HBO Comedy Hour. Andrew Dice Clay, Assume the Position. And at 11, When Criminals Are Formed Instead of Reformed. Christian Slater, Murder in the First. Bad Boys, HBO Comedy Hour, and Murder in the First. Something special's on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, a Saturday premiere that'll blow you away. Sylvester Stallone, Demolition Man. At 10:15, Single Life in the 90s with double the laughs. The sexy, funny Dream On. And at 11, language isn't the only barrier. Sean Connery, Wesley Snipes, Rising Sun. Demolition Man, Dream On, and Rising Sun. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, a Saturday premiere, The Hero with 1,000 Faces, Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. At 9:30, Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, National Lampoon's Vacation. And at 11:15, he's got to practice a different kind of LA law, Lou Diamond Phillips, Extreme Justice. Ace Ventura, National Lampoon's Vacation, and Extreme Justice. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, a Saturday premiere, side-splitting action, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Time Cop. At 10, the movie that'll make you start taking the subway, Keanu Reeves, Sandra Bullock, Speed. And at 12:05, Everything's Coming Up Rosie, the HBO Comedy Hour with Rosie O'Donnell. Time Cop, Speed, and the HBO Comedy Hour. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, A Whale of a Story. Michael Madsen, Lori Petty, Free Willy. At 10, HBO brings you a Life Stories premiere, A Child Betrayed, the Calvin Muir story. And at 10:30, How Can This Relationship Work? The Opposite Sex and How to Live with Them. Free Willy, A Child Betrayed, the Calvin Muir story, and The Opposite Sex and How to Live with Them. HBO is on tonight. It's on HBO. At 9, Thursday Night Crime. Bruce Payne, Lance Henriksen, Aurora, Operation Intercept. At 10:30, a brand new season of the wildest stand-up in town. Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam. And at 11, Andrew Stevens, Morgan Fairchild, Point of Seduction, Body Chemistry 3. Aurora, Operation Intercept, Def Comedy Jam, and Body Chemistry 3. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, a Saturday premiere. Stephen Ray, Donald Sutherland, the HBO original movie Citizen X. At 10, a guaranteed riot. The HBO Comedy Hour. Paul Rodriguez live in San Quentin. And at 11, an outlaw refuses to end up in the Where Are They Now file. Paul Hogan, Lightning Jack. Citizen X, HBO Comedy Hour, and Lightning Jack. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 9, every female killing machine has the right to change your mind. Cyborg 2, Glass Shadow. At 11, Jimmy Johnson joins Len, Nick, and Chris to take you inside the NFL. And at 12, a Ouija board is her ticket into the other world, but it might not be round trip. Witchboard 2. Cyborg 2, Inside the NFL, and Witchboard 2. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, Double Feature Friday. Hustling the Hoops, Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson, White Men Can't Jump. At 10, Is It Love or Just a Lab Mix-Up? Whoopi Goldberg, Ted Danson, Made in America. And at 12, an all-new Dennis Miller with the last word on the week that was. White Men Can't Jump, Made in America, and Dennis Miller. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, Is He or Isn't He? Richard Gere, Jodie Foster, Summersby. At 10, the best hour of comedy on TV. First, it's Love in the 90s, American Style, Dream On. Then at 10:30, see what everyone's talking about. The Larry Sanders Show starring Gary Shandling. Summersby, Dream On, and The Larry Sanders Show. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 9:45, back to prove that slime is money. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ghostbusters 2. At 11:30, see what everyone's talking about. The Larry Sanders Show starring Gary Shandling. And at 12, it's Friday Late Night, an all-new Def Comedy Jam. Ghostbusters 2, The Larry Sanders Show, and Def Comedy Jam. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 7:30, the voices of Tia Carrere and Margaret Cho. Happily Ever After, fairy tales for every child. The Little Mermaid. At 8, Sunday Best. He's Just a Family Man. Harrison Ford, Patriot Games. And at 10, Words Get in the Way. Gabriel Byrne, the HBO original movie Weapons of Mass Distraction. Happily Ever After, Patriot Games, and Weapons of Mass Distraction. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, a new movie every Saturday night. It's not going to be a blow-off day. Tom Berenger, The Substitute. At 10, Witness His Power, the HBO Comedy Hour. Eddie Griffin, Voodoo Child. And at 11, live HBO Boxing After Dark doubleheader. Zoo vs. Phillips and Johnson vs. Eisenreedy. The Substitute, HBO Comedy Hour, and live HBO Boxing After Dark. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 11:30, the clock on the wall says it's Miller time, the brand new season of Dennis Miller Live. At 12, Life from Hell, HBO's new adult animated series, Todd McFarlane's Spawn. And at 12:30, let's just say he's a family man, Harrison Ford, Patriot Games. Dennis Miller Live, Todd McFarlane's Spawn, and Patriot Games. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, Second Chance Tuesday, The Moron and the Dummy, Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, Grumpier Old Men. At 10, Going Undercover, Under the Covers, Dana Delaney, Rosie O'Donnell, Exit to Eden. And at 12:05, Laugh Your Way into 97, an all-night marathon of the HBO Comedy Half Hour. Grumpier Old Men, Exit to Eden, and the HBO Comedy Half Hour. It's not TV, it's HBO. Tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, charging on to Oscar victory, Mel Gibson, Braveheart. At 11, Nothing Like the Real Thing, Crime and Punishment, The Best of America Undercover. And at 12:20, the mother of all vendettas, Sally Field, Ed Harris, Eye for an Eye. Braveheart, The Best of America Undercover, and Eye for an Eye. HBO is on tonight. Tonight, it's on HBO. At 8, a Saturday premiere. She needs more amore in her life. Meg Ryan, Kevin Kline, French Kiss. At 10, Lorenzo Lamas, the HBO world premiere movie Mask of Death. And at 11:35, 10,000 Miles from the Land of the Living, Alan Payne, Eddie Griffith, The Walking Dead. French Kiss, Mask of Death, and The Walking Dead. Something special's on tonight.